If you know me, and a lot of you do, you know that I've been through a lot this year. There have been so many days where all I could think was, I need a beer. Who's had days like that? Raise your hands. And it wasn't all bad, because I have amazing friends who traveled great distances to see me, and we had a lot of fun. How? We had a bunch of drinks. That's how. Isn't that how most people have fun with their friends? And if you really know me, then you know that I am relentless, that I live to change the world in a very specific way, and that Province will bring to fruition everything I have fought for and forever transform this industry. But first, I need to get through the next 6 minutes with all of you looking at me, and I'm totally not nervous at all. And do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that this would be so much easier, so less awkward, if we all just had a cocktail in our hands, right? And guys, that is why alcohol is a $1 trillion industry. Because when you think about it, alcohol is amazing. It is what you need after a bad day. It's what you want on a fun night out with your friends. It's social, it breaks the ice, it brings people together. Alcohol enhances our lives in so many ways. But while all of this is true, it is also true that our world is changing. Who saw the election news? Not that election news, but that we now live in a country where 8 states have legalized recreational cannabis, causing some to predict that the market for recreational cannabis, or actually for cannabis globally, will exceed $60 billion in the next few years. There's been a recent study by Deloitte saying that the market in Canada alone will exceed $22 billion by 2018, and saying that it is actually possible that recreational marijuana could generate more money than alcohol. Now, show of hands, who believes that in Canada, recreational marijuana could generate more money than alcohol? That's pretty good. Well, I'll tell you someone who believes it. 2 Fridays ago, I received a phone call from the head of the venture capital division at Diageo. And he had heard about Province from one of our investors. And what he said to me after I gave him the same pitch that I'm about to give you, you'll never guess what he said. He said that we have been tracking this space for a while, and we knew that something like this was going to happen, but we never thought it would be this soon. And so why is Diageo, one of the largest alcohol companies in the world, why are they tracking the cannabis space? Well, because, guys, in case you haven't noticed, the days of the 2-martini lunch are long gone. And per capita alcohol consumption is declining across the developed world. My friend, USC professor Diego Berdakin, put it best when he said, if anyone actually understood how bad alcohol was for you, no one would drink it. There was one man who came to understand just how bad alcohol was for you. Dr. David Nutt was the drug czar of the United Kingdom. How many of you guys know Dr. Nutt? At least one. And he commissioned a study to determine what was the most harmful psychoactive for individuals in society. Was it heroin, crystal meth, bath salts? Well, to his surprise, it was alcohol. Now, he didn't believe it. So he repeated the study a second time and got the same results. And this changed his life. Dr. Nutt endeavored to create an alternative to alcohol, to study the neurologic systems and neurotransmitters with which alcohol interacts, and to create something that could hit those same receptors but would be less harmful. And you know what the crazy part is? He actually did it. His product is called Alcosynth. Now, how many of you have tried it? I didn't think so, because Dr. Nutt made Alcosynth from benzodiazepines, the same prescription meds that, when combined with alcohol, killed Anna Nicole Smith, Heath Ledger, and many more. But you can't really blame him, because he made the best decision he could for a starting material based on the information he had at the time, based on what he thought he could get legalized. But guys, the world is different now. Things are changing. I'm biased, but I am pretty sure that Province, my company, is the best positioned company in the world to deliver on this industry's biggest promise, an alcohol killer. So what is an alcohol killer? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a juice or soda with marijuana oil added. It's not a coffee or tea either. Our products at Province are premium, super premium, and ultra premium adult beverages that are brewed or distilled entirely from cannabis. They are engineered and rigorously tested to deliver a sensation a lot like the pleasant sensation of drinking alcohol, to hit those same receptors in your brain, just like Dr. Nutt's Alcosynth, but without those harmful interactions. Oh, and of course, they're legal, wherever cannabis is legal. So with our product, just like with alcohol, you will get that liquid courage, so you're not afraid to talk to the hot girl at the bar. You'll get that social lubricant, so you can close your business drinks or be your best on your first date. You'll get that fun, social, high-energy feeling, just like with alcohol. But it's what you won't get that matters most. You won't get the 8 types of cancer that alcohol causes: dementia, diabetes, heart disease, the list goes on. Sounds good, right? It is good. But just delivering this on its own is still not good enough, because cannabis beverages have a problem. You drink any cannabis beverage and you might not feel the effects for an hour or more. Steve knows something about this. But imagine going to your business drinks and you don't feel anything until you're driving home. Where is the market for that? All of Province's marijuana products will hit you as quickly as alcohol. So you will be able to enjoy them just as you do alcohol in your daily life. But even that is not enough. Even this technology that we've included is still not enough. Now, when you're at the restaurant and the waiter notices you finished your appetizer, he never asks if you'd like another. That'd be weird, right? You'd feel like a pig. But the moment you put down that cocktail, he asks if you would like another drink. And that doesn't feel gluttonous at all, even though there's probably the same number of calories in that cocktail as there were in the appetizer you just finished. So why is that? Well, it's because alcohol has perfected a culture of self-titration. You know it, but you don't even know it. Beer is sold in 6-packs. There's 6 glasses of wine in a bottle. One is never enough. All of Province's marijuana products will have a duration of effect similar to alcohol. So you will want to have more than one in an evening. Now, this isn't high science, but it is the price of entry if you want to create a product that bars and restaurants will serve, because the bars aren't going to sell you a $45 cocktail at the start of your dinner, but they might sell you 3 $15 cocktails over the course of the night. So that is what our products are. Alcohol-free, evolved cannabis beverages that behave and make you feel a lot like alcohol. Now, I know what you're thinking, but with the right team, anything is possible. And Province's founders have collectively 14 years combined experience in the alcohol industry, 16 years experience in the cannabis industry. We have launched 16 cannabis industry brands. We started and sold 2 major brands of spirits. We've won 19 cannabis cups. And between us, the founders have had 6 successful exits and raised more than $77 million from angel and venture investors for our previous projects. We have now assembled a team of 8 with world-class advisors. You probably recognize some of them. And we are currently in pre-production on our very first batch of products. I'm standing before you today because we are raising money. We are raising 6.5 million Canadian dollars, which is nothing. It's less than 5 million US. And we already have $1.5 million committed. And I know that this is not an investment for everyone, but the opportunity that we're chasing and the unique skill set and experience of the team we have assembled is a very rare combination. And for the right person, this investment will make a lot of sense. Now, hey, maybe that's not you, but whether or not you invest, there will come a day, maybe at a wedding, a grandchildren's wedding, where you raise your glass with joy and pride, and you'll recall that, hey, there once was a time when the only thing that we had to toast with was alcohol. And it's whether you invest today that determines whether that moment is a passing curiosity or whether the alcohol-free, evolved cannabis beverage in your raised hand is a part of your legacy. So that's my presentation. I think I have a few minutes left for questions. And if anyone has questions, I would love to tell you about what we're doing. Anybody? Right there.
How does it taste? How does it taste? Nobody's going to drink it. You see all these products that come out and they taste like, oh.
Well, flavor is very important. So I can actually show you on sort of a per product basis. So the first product we roll out to market is a beer that is brewed from cannabis. The type of cannabis we brew from is hemp because it's cheaper, but also because it's legal, so that we can make our hemp products and ship them all around the world. And it tastes a lot like a hemp beer that you might buy at any bar or liquor store. But most of the hemp beers, or all of the hemp beers that are out there today, are made with barley. And then there's just a small amount of hemp, usually less than 1%, that's added for flavor, because people love the flavor of hemp, that rich, nutty, sort of toasted hemp seed flavor that's savory. It's amazing. So we deliver that flavor, but we don't use any barley. So it's a little less sweet, a little more savory, a little bit more of a refined, sophisticated adult taste for the beers. Now, one of our beer products will be, our dealcoholized beer products will be a barley beer, because we know there's people who love the flavor of barley. And for that product, we have partnered with the most awarded alcohol-free beer in the world. The company that wins basically, so you may know who it is if you follow this industry, but the company that wins every year in every category for alcohol-free beers in those global contests. So it's a great tasting barley beer as well. And then the gin tastes a lot like gin. Now, what's the difference? The difference is a little bit of the sweetness. It's a little less sweet because it is missing the alcohol, which does have a little bit of sugary, detectable taste. There's a difference in the viscosity, and it doesn't have that bite, that sting that alcohol has, which makes it an acquired taste. But we're very confident that anyone who loves a great beer or a great spirit will love a product like this. And we are excited about ushering in a new era where, right now it's a sign of intelligence, it's a sign of sophistication to know a good alcohol product from a bad. I can tell a $1,000 whiskey from a $20 whiskey, therefore I'm really smart. Well, we want to usher in an era where that goes away, where people think of alcohol the same way they think of tobacco. It's a bad thing to do, it's not healthy, there's healthier alternatives, and knowing the best beverage made from cannabinoids becomes a sign of intelligence and a sign of sophistication. Next question. Frank. That's two questions, so I'll hit the first one first. We're trying to move away. We're trying to create a new paradigm in this industry where people are not focused on milligrams of THC, because you know what that is? That's a commodity mindset. And if alcohol worked in the same way, Everclear would be the most expensive bottle in the liquor store, and it's not. Everclear is 99% alcohol, but nobody buys it. I mean, college kids buy it to make jungle juice. The amount of ethanol does not make a better product. What makes a better product is the flavor, the smell, the technique, and of course the marketing and the brand and the ethos and what it stands for to drink a refined scotch or to drink a fine spirit. So that's really what we focus on, and the number of grams of THC, of course by law we'll have to publish that, but we're not competing against people on a milligrams of THC criteria. We're creating a new spectrum. But to answer your questions, the cannabis beers will have around, between 12 and 8 milligrams of THC per dose. And the spirit will have between 12 and 8 milligrams, or per bottle, sorry, and the spirit will have between 12 and 8 milligrams of THC per dose. And then in terms of the onset time, we are in the process of evaluating multiple technologies as an accelerant. There's many out there on the market, and we've completed tests with some of them. We've gotten some good results and some bad results. We have a tentative deal in place with a leading accelerant manufacturer, but we are still open to other suggestions and trying to lock in the best accelerant. But there's no doubt that we can deliver a product that hits you in 10 minutes or less. So that's not a technology that we're creating at Province. That's something we license, because why reinvent the wheel? There's already plenty of people who figured out how to make a great accelerant. But what we are creating is the other technology to shorten that duration of effect to 20, 30 minutes, so you want to have 2 or 3 in an evening. And that is technology that we can license to anybody who wants to make a chocolate bar or a brownie that doesn't get you high all night. And so that licensing revenue is part of how we intend to grow this business. Any other questions? Yep. We could talk about it. It's not in our current business plan. Other questions? Got time for one more? Anybody? All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for your interest.